So what is meal prep about and why is it really so important? Well, meal prep is simply the concept of preparing whole meals or components of meals ahead of schedule. And meal prepping is important because given the sheer busyness of life today, many of us seem to struggle to find the time, let alone the energy, to prepare and eat healthy meals 3 times a day, 7 days a week. And you know what? I don't blame you, especially if you work full time and if you have a family to look after too. It can be really, really hard. However, with that said, by preparing meals in advance, we can avoid this constant struggle and eat healthier meals more consistently. So I just want to take a few minutes to highlight exactly how meal prepping can help you to do this and why it is so important to get it right. The first thing is time. A lack of time is often the biggest barrier when it comes to preparing healthy meals. And although you do need to invest some time up front to plan out your meals properly and to cook them, you will still end up saving so much time overall with meal prepping. Just think about how much time we waste standing in front of the refrigerator trying to figure out what to cook. Once your meals are prepared ahead of time, all you need to do is open the fridge, take them out and heat them up and you're done. It's also going to save you a ton of time with the grocery shopping too. And that's because once you know what meals you'll be eating for the week, then you won't find yourself, walking aimlessly up each aisle of the supermarket wondering what to buy, what to make. Next, having pre-prepared meals on hand means that you won't be scrambling to find something to eat at the very last minute and risk being exposed to unhealthy options such as takeaway or unhealthy TV dinners, which we're all guilty of from time to time, because your meal is already prepared and it's healthy. And you know what? I see this all of the time. Just locally where I live here, McDonald's, KFC, and most of the takeaway places, come dinner time, the car parks and the drive-thrus are jam-packed. And so food prepping allows us to make healthier food choices. Another thing we do when we are stressed out or busy and rushed for time is that we often resort back to what we know, the recipes that we grew up with, which are not always healthy. However, if you are able to put thought into your meals ahead of time, it becomes so much easier to put together meals which not only taste great, but which also supply you with all of the nutritional requirements that you need to function at your best. And this is partly because food prepping makes it easier to eat a larger variety of foods by allowing the space for you to be more creative with what you eat, including sourcing, and trying new recipes. Next is weight loss. If you're really serious about achieving and maintaining a healthy weight, then planning your meals in advance is absolutely essential. Not only do you know exactly what you are putting into your body, but you're also controlling your portion sizes in advance too, which is really beneficial when you're watching calories. Also, as you get into the routine of eating healthier, you will gradually stop craving sugar and other fattening foods. So it really is a win-win. Meal prepping will also save you money because you can buy things in bulk, which is usually much cheaper. You also know exactly what you need to buy instead of going to the supermarket a few times each week to pick up last-minute ingredients and buy stuff you don't really need or shouldn't be buying in the first place. You're also less likely to buy pricey meals at lunchtime, which can save you dollars at work. It also means that you'll have much less food wastage. It's my little Fogo bin here, which is better for the environment too, and also helps your wallet. And finally, meal prepping will reduce your stress levels. Stress can affect your immune system, cause digestive issues, and disrupt your sleeping patterns. Coming home from work and trying to come up with a plan for dinner can be stressful, especially when you're already overwhelmed or exhausted from everything else you have to do in your day. But by having meals already prepared, you can say goodbye to the what's for dinner stress and just relax knowing that your meal just needs to be heated up. In fact, before I regularly started meal prepping, this is something that I would stress about all of the time. At the end of the day, food is something we eat every day of our lives, and every meal choice we make either brings us closer to well-being or takes us further away. As such, planning and preparing your meals in advance plays a fundamental role in not only achieving your nutritional requirements, but doing so in a way in which is fluid and stress-free. So now that you know why planning and preparing meals in advance is so important, I'm now going to give you a step-by-step guide to start meal prepping. The first step you want to do is to choose which meals you'd like to prepare in advance. And this could be breakfast, it could be lunch, dinner, or your snacks. If you're new to meal prepping, just keep it really simple by starting with one particular mealtime in which you are most likely struggling with the most. For example, if you skip breakfast every second day because you don't have the time, then you might select to meal prep breakfast on, say, a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday, or whatever suits your individual situation. Step 2 is to select your meal prep methods of choice. And there are lots of different ways to meal prep, but most of them fall into 3 main categories. Number 1, ready to cook ingredients. And this involves preparing components of a meal, and that might mean washing, peeling, slicing, chopping, roasting, etc. in advance to use later on. For example, washed and pre-cut veggies to be used for a stir fry, or for making a soup, it could be something as simple as chopping up, different veggies as well. Example here, I've prepared my frittata ingredients, which I'll use to make a frittata today. I've got parmesan cheese, parsley, and eggs ready to go, which I collected from my chicken coop this morning. The second type of meal prep is individually portioned meals. And this involves preparing fresh meals and portioning them into individual containers to be refrigerated and eaten over the next few days. This method is particularly handy for quick breakfast or lunchtime meals that you can simply grab and go, okay? So you can see here, I've got a nice bean salad that I've made here, which I'll have for lunch for the next few days. I've got some chia puddings ready to go for myself, for the kids. Got lots more in the fridge as well. The third type of meal prepping is batch cooking, and this involves making large batches of a specific recipe, then splitting it into individual portion sizes to be frozen and eaten over the next few weeks or months. And these make for popular warm lunches or dinner options. And batch cooking can be done weekly, fortnightly, or even monthly. For example, you can do soups and pasta sauces. Here are some meals. I've got a soup here and a zucchini pasta sauce that I've made. A few weeks ago I made that. And this is my favorite method of meal prepping. In fact, I'll be doing it again probably tonight as well. And what I do is I cook enough for tonight, for lunch tomorrow, plus usually about 4 additional dinners, which I'll freeze and use over the next month, which is 6 meals in total. It only takes me about an extra 5 to 10 minutes to make an extra 5 meals, which is amazing because it saves so much time later on. And so this is why this is my favorite method and the one that I use the most. But the method that works best for you depends on your goals, which meal times you want to meal prep for, and your daily routine. So it's different for everyone. For instance, we hold up the chia puddings, okay? individually portioned meals. Might work best for you if you're looking to stream your morning routine, okay? Next, step 3 is to set up a regular schedule. So meal prepping works best when you set up a regular schedule, okay? So you've got a little calendar here, just mark down what days you want to meal prep. So, you know, it includes knowing when you need to shop for groceries and when will you actually prepare your meals, okay? So, for instance, you know, you might reserve Sunday mornings for grocery shopping and meal prepping. You know, everyone's different. Or you could select, say, for example, a Monday and Wednesday evenings to make individually portioned meals, you know, for the rest of the week. Next, we have step 4. So step 4, which is choosing which recipes you want to meal prep. And if you're new to meal prepping, you want to keep things really simple. And so the best thing you can do is simply to start prepping some of the recipes that you already know, that you're already making. Take a moment now to write down just 3 of your favorite healthy recipes for each meal type that you could possibly prepare in advance. It's the best way to start. If on the other hand, you already use meal prepping as part of your regime, then you might want to start thinking about what other recipes you would like to eat and meal prep, obviously. There are literally thousands of recipes available both online and in recipe books, including books which are dedicated just towards the best recipes for food prepping. If you have a family, it's a good idea to see what they would like to eat too, because it can get really tricky to balance when everyone wants to eat different things, you know, different foods. So if you can all agree on what to eat as the same, at least for the main meals anyway, then that will make it much easier. Next, step 5 is to pick the right number of meals. So once you've established what you and your family want to eat and meal prep, then you need to pick how many meals you'll like to make. That is, how often do you want to eat this meal? And this is really important to get right, especially if you're preparing ready to cook ingredients, these which have to be used, or fresh meals, such as the bean salad I just made, okay? Because you've got to eat them over the next few days. So if you make too many, they're going to go off. So step 6 is to make a shopping list, okay? And it's time to go shopping to buy everything that you need, okay? So simply scroll through each recipe to find what ingredients you need and then just add them to your weekly shopping list. Step 7 is to ensure that you have food storage containers. It's no good meal prepping if you've got nothing to put the food into. Okay, so if you're going to buy plastic, make sure they're BPA free. Glass is great for ready to prepare meals, but obviously probably not for freezing. Step 8 is to make sure that you have the right equipment to meal prep. One of the most important things is a good set of quality knives. I use the Global knives, I find them fantastic. You know, I use lots of silicone appliances. I use quality saucepans, frying pans. So be sure to ensure that you have what you need to meal prep. And if not, just add any items to your shopping list if required. And just on that, just remember that if you buy good quality equipment, it will last a lifetime. Okay, so just buy the best and buy it once. Next, step 9 is to simply go shopping and buy what you need. So once you know what grocery containers, what utensils you need, then it's time to go shopping. You want to get what you need and get out, okay? If you want, you can shop online, you know? It's so easy these days. Click and collect, get it delivered to your door, whatever works for you, pick it up. Step 10 is to start preparing your meals. So before you start anything, double check the ingredients for all recipes before. This way, if 2 of the recipes require, for example, diced onions and diced zucchini, then you can do that at the same time and save lots of time. It's best to start with the recipes requiring the longest cook time. And this often includes, you know, the soup or an oven meal first. Once that meal is underway, then focus on the rest. And where possible, use automated gadgets such as rice cookers and slow cookers, which I absolutely love, just to further streamline your workflow. Also want to, prepare the cold meals last, since they can easily be made while all the other meals are cooking. Get them on, get those going. Also, many hands make light work. So to make things easier, try to get your family involved. And before you know it, you'll have whipped up several meals for the days, weeks, or even months ahead. Once your meals are cooked, then ensure to refrigerate them within 2 hours of purchase or cooking. Freshly prepared meals should be refrigerated even earlier. Step 11 is to store your meals safely. Once you've prepared your meals, it's time to store them. Sure to label and date them according to when you made them. So I've got here zucchini sauce made on the 28th of the 1st and the year. You also want to consume foods within a safe period. Step 12 is to use your meals. Now it's time to enjoy your pre-prepared meals. And these are some of the meals, I've prepared earlier. As I said before, I've got the bean salad here, chia pudding, sauces, soups, and it makes my life so much easier. I simply put these into the fridge in the morning, and when I get home, I reheat it. Get home from work, I'll cook some pasta or some rice, and dinner's done. Healthy, nutritious meal on the table. Remember that there is no right or wrong way to achieve a meal prep routine. Everyone has their own ways of doing it. And through trial and error, you'll begin to realize what works best for you and what simply doesn't work. It shouldn't be a stressful operation once you get used to it. And remember, you can make it as simple or as complex as you like. For some people, simply cooking extra at every meal and then using it over the next few days or freezing it for later use is the extent of their meal prepping routine. And that is perfectly fine if that's what works for you. Just enjoy the process. So, do you plan and prepare any of your meals in advance and store them away for later use? Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to learn more about the other essential attributes of staying in your best shape. And until next time, watch what you chew, do what you need to do, and always live true.